Today, we're diving deep into the science of sports, right to that razor's edge of human achievement. We're talking about performance-enhancing drugs, and that biological line some athletes are willing, even desperate to cross, just for a taste of victory. Okay, let's get into it. To really understand the whole world of doping, you kind of have to start with a more fundamental question. What is the actual biological difference that separates elite male and female athletes? The answer takes us right to the core of what makes our bodies tick.
And really, the answer boils down to one main thing: hormones. Specifically, we're talking about the two big ones that pretty much sculpt our bodies after puberty: testosterone and estrogen. They basically set the stage for two completely different types of athletes.
And this slide really lays it all out, clear as day. Think of testosterone as nature's own anabolic agent. Its whole job is to build muscle. Estrogen, on the other hand, tells the body to store fat. This creates a huge difference in body composition. On average, you're looking at about 15% body fat for men compared to 27% for women. So what does that all add up to? Well, it adds up to a real measurable number. Across a whole bunch of sports, that performance gap between the top men and women averages out to about 11%. And look, this has nothing to do with who trains harder. It's just a straight-up result of that hormonal head start. And it's exactly that gap that makes a chemical shortcut so tempting. Which, of course, brings us to anabolic steroids. If you think of testosterone as nature's original performance enhancer, well, steroids are basically humanity's attempt to steal the recipe and then crank up the dose to absolutely insane levels. The name itself tells you everything. Anabolic literally just means tissue building, for bigger muscles. And androgenic means male-producing, because these drugs are synthetic copies of the very hormone that gives men their male characteristics. They're built to mimic testosterone, plain and simple. And boy, do they offer a tempting package. It's not just about building raw muscle and strength for power sports. They can also improve your aerobic capacity. But here's the real kicker. They let athletes recover from brutal workouts way faster. That means you can train harder and more often than your body was ever designed to handle. And that temptation, it's huge. The sources we looked at cite this absolutely staggering number, an estimate of 1 billion steroid abusers in the US. Now look, that exact number gets debated for sure, but the takeaway is obvious. This is a widespread problem, and it shows you the incredible pressure athletes are under to get that edge. But here's the thing. Building bigger, stronger muscles isn't the only way to cheat the system. Let's talk about some other methods, because they target a totally different aspect of athletic performance. Yeah, for endurance athletes, we're talking cyclists, marathon runners, brute strength isn't what limits them. For them, the real currency, the thing they need more of, is oxygen. It all comes down to how much you can get to your muscles and how fast you can get it there. And this picture shows you exactly how they try to game that system. It's called blood doping. On the left, you've got normal blood, but on the right, that's doped blood. By using transfusions or a hormone called EPO, athletes can cram way more red blood cells into their system. It's like upgrading from a small delivery van to a whole fleet of trucks, all carrying oxygen straight to your muscles. And then there's another major player in this game: human growth hormone, or HGH. Now, this is something our bodies make naturally. Its job is, well, exactly what it sounds like. It helps us grow, repair cells, and regenerate tissue. So for an athlete, the appeal here is pretty obvious, right? HGH is seen as this wonder drug that can help you build muscle, shred body fat, and maybe most importantly, heal from injuries way faster. It became this super expensive but popular alternative for people trying to get an edge without getting caught. So we've seen the promise, right? The potential for glory. But every single one of these shortcuts, they all come with a price. And it is a terrifyingly high price, paid for by the athlete's own body. See, when you flood your system with all these synthetic hormones, you're basically throwing your body's delicate internal chemistry into complete chaos. For men, the body just shuts down its own testosterone production. You get things like testicular atrophy, impotence. For women, all those androgens cause masculinization. We're talking a deeper voice, facial hair, a totally disrupted menstrual cycle. But messing with your hormones is just the beginning. The truly terrifying part is the damage to your heart and your whole cardiovascular system.
It can be absolutely catastrophic. Your heart muscle can grow to a dangerous size. Blood pressure goes through the roof, and the risk for blood clots and heart attacks, it just skyrockets. These aren't just side effects. These are things that can kill you. And the damage isn't just physical. That term you've probably heard, roid rage, it is not a joke. It's not some myth from the movies. The sources are clear. It's a very real psychological side effect that leads to extreme aggression, hostility, profound changes to your personality that can just wreck your life.
And for young athletes, there's a particularly cruel twist to all this. If you use steroids before your body's done growing, say before you're 20, it can cause the growth plates in your bones to fuse shut way too early. The result is totally irreversible. You just stop growing taller. You end up permanently shorter than you were supposed to be. So it all brings us to this final weigh-in, doesn't it? You put the promise of a medal, a championship, that one moment of glory on one side of the scale, and on the other side, you put a potential lifetime of devastating health problems.
After looking at the science, seeing the promises, and understanding the absolutely brutal costs, you're just left with one single, unavoidable question. It's a question for every athlete, every coach, and really every fan. Is any medal, is any victory truly worth this price?